There it is. Like a well-oiled machine. We'll just keep it the triple. I'll still do an intro, but we had a well-oiled machine here. Welcome everyone to the Sideline Podcast. We've gone from the double box to the triple. We have a special guest with us tonight. We got ALO Alex. You can follow him on X at ALO Leagues. You can see it right there below his name. Welcome to the podcast, my friend. How's your day going?
Going great. Thank you guys for having me. I mean, it's Saturday, so I'm excited, and we're talking football, man. It doesn't get better than that.
Yeah, no, very good. And you are a content creator, creating some fantasy football leagues, trying to create some content and a brand online. Again, we podcast, we love football, talking football, fantasy football, all things sports. Tonight's show, we have some trivia. We're going to recap the NFL Hall of Fame game. Is Trey Lance a Hall of Fame quarterback in the future? We will answer. A couple training camp updates from our favorite teams. There's a couple trade requests in the NFL, so we'll touch on that. We've got our NCAA breakout of the week, and then we're going to dive into our fantasy football wide receiver rankings in both the NCAA and NFL. And spoiler, if you stick around to the end, we got some big news for next week's show. So stick around to the end or fast forward on YouTube afterwards, either way. So
don't do that. Don't fast forward.
I mean, people are going to do it anyway, so I'm giving them the out. But all right, without further ado, Alex, I don't know how many times you've watched the show, but without further ado, we're going to hop into some trivia. And since you're our guest, we're going to put you on the hot seat here with some trivia questions. So, not that one. There we go. There we go. Like a glove. All right, we're diving deep in some of these. Not quite 1912 Leatherheads, but which tight end scored the most fantasy football points in 2006? Is it A, Antonio Gates, B, Tony Gonzalez, C, Kellen Winslow, or D, good old Todd Heap?
And Alex, while you're thinking, we do want to remind those listening, or if you're in the chat, feel free to pop your guess, or if you know it, throw it in there, help Alex out. But this is all about community, so feel free to jump in if you know it. But go ahead, Alex.
It's between two, but I feel like it's the least obvious one. But if I had to go, 2006, Kansas City. He would have been on Kansas City. Oh, man, they would have been nice.
Spoiler, I think these were 4 of the top 5 guys that year. So
yeah.
Didn't make it easy on you.
I think I'm wrong, but I can't see him not being number one that year. Tony Gonzalez, B.
Tony Gonzalez. It is A, Antonio Gates, 217 fantasy points, which by today's standards would be nothing, but that year he was primed. So I was going to give you a spoiler, like we're talking Trey Lance Hall of Fame game, Hall of Fame this week. But if I would have done that, it would have gave it away. So I just had to let you. Tony Gonzalez, a great option. We'll throw this one to Booker.
And did you know Antonio Gates did not play college football?
Yeah, I saw that this week. That's crazy.
He did not play college football. He played college basketball. I knew that he played basketball, but I thought he did both. He did not do both. He played college basketball only.
And the only guy in the Hall of Fame to not play college football. It's crazy.
Incredible.
All right, Booker. Which wide receiver scored the most fantasy football points in 2020? I also have a fun fact, part 3 of trivia, but not really a trivia. But we don't have a slide, but we have a fun fact here. So was it A, Tyreek Hill, B, Devontae Adams, C, Stephon Diggs, or D, Calvin Ridley, 2020? So Ridley was not suspended that year.
Why are you going to give me a COVID-19 question, man?
Why are you going to bring up COVID?
You're going to ask me, like, with stadiums with 0 people in them, who had the most fantasy football points?
Yeah, well, we were all sitting and watching football and not doing anything else. But
That's accurate. Yeah. I honestly, this is a good one. I actually don't have any idea, because I feel like 2020 was such a blur between like Call of Duty and like we're just watching football and being stuck inside. Like, I don't know. So I'm just gonna guess. I'm gonna go with B, Devontae Adams.
You are correct.
Sure.
So, and
That was
then
absolute luck. Absolute luck.
This is a little bonus. So, let me make sure I don't butcher this. So this year, it's pretty much a universal rankings. Jamar Chase, the number one wide receiver, most people boards, going number one overall in redrafts, rightfully so. And we'll get into our wide receiver rankings. My fun fact question for you guys, and I don't have a slide. What is the last wide receiver to repeat as the wide receiver one in fantasy football? I'll give you one hint. Every year since 2016, it has been a different. Oh, I'm sorry, I did that. Every year since 2016, it has been a different player, and nobody's been back. Does that make sense? What I'm saying? So, like since 2016, it's been a different guy every year, and nobody's repeated in the last decade. So, who was the last player to repeat? Is my question.
Ooh, and you're talking about fantasy
football,
wide receiver.
Yep,
specifically.
I just thought it was crazy that nobody had repeated. But then my question is who was that last person to repeat in that 2015, 2016? If that helps you.
20. Okay, so those were the two.
That was the last time it repeated.
I got one in mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think you should throw it out there, Alo.
I'm gonna go Julio Jones.
That's good.
Ooh.
That's a good guess. Booker, you got any guesses?
Oh man, I wish you had like informed me earlier about this question so I could think about it. Because
to be fair, it was in Notion, but I don't want to call you out. But I guess I just did.
You don't want to call me out.
Shout out Notion if you're looking to stay organized in your life. But
hey, Notion, sponsor us because obviously
not a sponsor. But all right, the last player to go ahead. You got to guess. Julio,
no.
Antonio Brown.
Ooh,
the last one, 2015, 2016. And again, every year since then, it's been a different player. So I have a follow-up question when we get to our rankings, but we'll leave that tease right there. So let's go ahead and move into is Trey Lance a Hall of Fame quarterback? Do you guys watch the Hall of Fame game? Yes or no?
Yeah.
I did because it was
every minute or partial. Honestly, I forgot it was on. Last year, my son like 8:00 that morning. He's like, "Dad, you know what's on tonight?" And I had no idea. Like I was just not that. And it was. But this year, I kind of spaced on it a little bit, and I was like, "Oh, the game's on. I got to watch some football here." So, What were your thoughts on the game? Is Trey Lance going to be a future Hall of Famer? We say tongue in cheek.
Go ahead, Alo. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I did watch the whole game because, dude, it's been so boring without football.
Oh yeah.
And if I see third stringers out there, I'm watching it. I don't care. I'm watching it. But is he going to be a Hall of Famer? No, but I will say, instead of Hall of Famer, I think he will be a starter.
Yes.
In the future, yes. I mean, he's as old as Bo Nix. I mean, he's not that old. He's only 20. Yeah. So I think with Harbaugh, like he believes in him. He just needed somebody to believe in him. And when he played in college, he didn't play a lot of snaps. Same thing with AR. They both. Yeah. I mean, you can't just go into the NFL playing a couple games. It's just not how it goes.
Yeah. No, I go back and forth on it because it was against third and fourth stringers. So like he should look good against those guys. I think I was most impressed he wasn't running the ball. Like he was in the pocket, throwing efficiently. And I think that, like you said, he didn't get a lot of college reps. And so throwing the ball efficiently, scoring touchdowns, like you have to be encouraged. Chargers aren't necessarily in the market for a starting quarterback, but he might have earned himself a contract with another team. Alo might have hacked our Notion and stole my my notes there because mine it wasn't Bo Nix, but I had that he's only a year older than Jaden Daniels. So like he's got a lot of runway ahead of him, and not everybody's going to hit the ground running and throw themselves in the MVP category. So I don't think Hall of Fame, but he could have some potential here. So
there's some really impressive throws for sure, like some dimes out there. And like two other things I wanted to mention. Did you see there were two new pairs of pants happening on that Charger sideline during that game?
I missed
powder
that.
blues on the team.
Okay.
But then also Harbaugh did not have his khakis. Harbaugh was not wearing khakis. So
I did not notice that.
Yeah, so the LA Chargers they introduced two new pairs of pant styles in that Hall of Fame game, and I think they were both pretty slick. Harbaugh looks pretty good when he's not in khakis,
Yeah,
in not a weird way.
Like, was he wearing like black pants, or he was out there in like joggers or something? Look at us, we're talking Coach Harbaugh, George. That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. All right, let's let's go training camp news. Again, we've got a Bills fan, Booker. Alo's a Dolphins fan. I got the Eagles. Tell us. This is our chance to be a little bit of a homerism on your team. Why don't we start with Booker? What's happening in Buffalo? Is Super Bowl or bust yet again? Yeah, give us some news from Buffalo.
So Bills training camp news. Just so everyone's aware, Josh Allen is the reigning MVP, and there's some hate on X earlier this week about whether he should or should not be. It's been decided, and it's done.
It was Lamar's
a couple
season, but we digress.
On another note, the Bills have brought back the red helmets, and those things are slick. So super stoked on those. Some bad news: Maxwell Hairston, rookie first-round cornerback for the Bills. He sustained an LCL strain. It was what was described as like a freak trip up. They thought initially, though, it was an ACL injury, so thankfully it was just LCL. He'll be out for a few weeks, but hopefully he makes a full recovery and he's back on the field soon, because he's been a catalyst on that defense, and that's a huge need for that Bills defense. So that's one thing that I noticed, as well as Keon Coleman. He started out. I think it was either today or yesterday. He started out training camp with 2 drops, and so everyone was kind of like, "Oh gosh, like here we go again." He proceeded to light it on fire. Like he did it. He had some incredible catches out there. I think that he's going to make a big jump in year 2. He watched his tape last year and he recognized the trash that was happening, and so he's changing that. Last thing, QB2 battle is actually heating up. Former second overall pick Mitch Trubisky he's been the backup for 2 years for Buffalo. This year, it looks like Mike White is actually on his heels. So Trubisky will more than likely win that job out, but Mike White has a chance to prove he's the better choice. So we'll see, but hopefully either way, they are not going to need him, because Josh Allen's going for MVP and Super Bowl this year. So
there we go. All right, Alo, what do you got for us from Miami Dolphins camp?
So with Miami.
All right, we'll hop over to Philadelphia while Alo is coming back to us.
Get how about Philly? That's what's happening in Miami right now.
Yeah, nothing. Love it.
You hear me?
Love it, man.
Sorry, Alo.
We already moved on to Philly, but no, you're good. Go ahead, give us an update from Miami.
That was perfect timing.
That was great.
I don't know why it froze, but so for the Miami Dolphins, every year it's the same thing. Tua looks good in camp, but can't win the big games. We all know that. Yeah. But honestly, with Tyreek Hill, I know last year he quit, but he's actually been trying to in camp, get back that connection with his players. Because once you quit on someone, and anything, they're gonna look at you differently. So he's been working on that. And actually, he was out of practice. I think the other day he was out for personal reasons. And Waddle looks great in camp. I think Waddle. I know I'm throwing this out there. I don't have it on my list, but he could be top 15 wide receiver this year. And I think he even got top player of the day that day, because Hill was out. And everybody knows we're struggling at cornerback because we can't stay healthy there. But Burns just tore his ACL in camp, and we just added Jack Jones from the Raiders, so we were able to sign. And a guy to look forward to later in the year. I think Willie Gay is going to take off this year with our linebacker. And to end it, Jalen Wright, I was big on him, but he's struggling. He had a fumble. And Madison, Mr. Fumbler. Oh my God, I don't know how many times I've had him in fantasy. Yeah. I'll be up by 10 points, boom, I'm done. So he's had a couple good runs, but that's about pretty much it.
All right.
Hey, Lo, I've got a quick question for you.
Mhm.
Tyreek Hill has at least 10 children. Do the Miami Dolphins win at least 10 games this year?
So I'm a different type of Dolphins fan. So some Dolphins fans, they'll tell you they're going to the Super Bowl, not with Tua. I hope that the Dolphins stink it up and trade in the middle of the season, before the deadline, and we get Arch Manning. That's what I like to see, because every year as a Dolphins fan, there's nothing worse than being average. We're not low, we're not high, we're average. And I hate being 9-8 and 8-8. So no, we're not gonna win 10 games. Especially,
nice.
I mean, your Bills, Josh Allen. I mean, he loves playing the Dolphins. He gets MVPs probably like the next 2 years. Maybe he might go 2 years straight in a row, because when he plays the Dolphins, he takes off. And Justin loves playing the Dolphins. I mean, he ran 197 yards on the Bears, and the Bears offense. Don't get me started that year. And then you also have Drake May. I mean, he's gonna take off. He's gonna ascend. So I definitely see them winning 10 games.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a long season. But
well, I think we were talking last week, but is Arch Manning going to actually go to the NFL next year? So you might be looking for a 2-year tank for Arch type of plan there in Miami. It's not a positive outlook, but
that's okay. I've been waiting about 25 years. So
yeah, there you go. Nice. All right, so Philly, reigning champs. I mean, what can we say? Let's see here. The linebacker room is stacked, which that's a crazy thing to say as a Philadelphia fan, because for years we've always had a good line, both sides of the ball. We've had some good secondary players. For years, fans have begged Howie to draft linebackers to have linebackers. Pay Zach Bond. Massive money. That was huge. Jeremiah Trotter Jr., Jacoby Dean, Jahad Campbell. We're looking pretty spicy. And then one thing I was reading too that I thought was a positive sign. Most teams, the defenses are going to win the day early, because I think the nature of the beast, they just tend to gel together quickly in the schemes in training camp, where offenses, it can take a little bit to kind of get things moving. So I was kind of encouraged to see that the Eagles defense was doing well against the offense, being an elite offense. I was happy to see they've got a lot of new faces on defense. And so I thought that was encouraging out of camp. And then there's a lot of Jalen Hurts drama on the internet. At the end of the day, I'm happy that that's our quarterback. A quote from him last week was, "I moved on to the next year." It's as simple as that, in just the most stoic Jalen Hurts way that he can do it. So you love that. Yeah, just happy that guy's my quarterback. So let's move along here into while we're talking NFC East. So big news. This might have been the biggest news out of the NFL this week, of Micah Parsons wanting to trade. Everything I've heard was he's going to be the last edge rusher to get paid. He's going to get the highest amount of money. He's the youngest guy. He's going to get a bag. He plays for the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know. To me, this doesn't seem realistic. I think this is a ploy just to get a contract. But Booker, who should pick up that phone and call Jerry Jones to bring Micah Parsons to their team?
Well, I'm actually going to flip it around on you a little bit. I don't think it's who should be picking up the phone and calling Jerry Jones. I think Jerry Jones should be picking up that phone and calling his therapist, because the amount of insanity that is and drama that comes out of that camp and that franchise every year, it's getting old. I think that there is, and it's been old. It's a circus every year, and I know that that's right up Jerry Jones' alley. So if that's something that he enjoys doing every single year, and holding out on players and not paying them, not getting them locked in, ending up having to pay more later on, there's something genuinely wrong with that man. And I think he should be calling his therapist. Is there an in-network therapist in Dallas that can help this man out and figure out why he has to make all of this about him all the time? He's keeping his team from winning any meaningful games. So that's my answer.
Yeah. I'll wait till we finish the next one, but Yeah, I love seeing the Dallas in the news for all the wrong reasons. Brings joy to my heart in yeah, just such a pleasant way. So also in the NFC East, we love just people's houses burning to the ground all around us. So Terry McLaurin requested a trade. This didn't happen. This might happen. I can't see the date there, but recently, within the last couple of weeks, he's been disgruntled. He wasn't at camp. I think he is at camp now. Alo, we'll throw this one to you. Who do you think should make the trade? This is probably more likely to happen. The Commanders spent a lot of money this offseason and some vets to try and win now. And you'd think if you want to win now, this is a good guy to keep on your team. That being said, it is a hard cap. He wants big money. Who should pick up the phone and make a trade?
But before I even answer who should pick up, the Commanders should just stay with him. I mean,
yeah.
They put him through. I mean, like, he had no quarterback before Jaden Daniels. Like, and he was there, still being loyal, still working hard, still balling. I mean, with terrible quarterbacks. And then he helped Jaden Daniels have a smooth transition to the NFL, and they went all the way to the NFC Championship against your Eagles, and they're like, they could win the division. I mean, they could easily make the playoffs and make a run again. I believe division is a stretch, of course, but division to make a run in the playoffs, absolutely. And to put them through that is crazy. But if I had to pick who I would want him to go to and who I think he could, I could see him on the Browns. I mean, they have the money. They need a wide receiver. Well, he would become wide receiver 1, but that would help out Judy, of course, too. He'd be wide receiver 2, and that would be nice. But my favorite spot, I would like to see him on the Jets. I mean, you got 3 Ohio State alumni there. You'd have Justin Fields, you'd have Garrett Wilson, and you'd have Scary Terry on there. And I mean, oh my goodness, with Justin Fields running, and I could see that being awesome. And it helped Justin Fields be a better thrower as well. I mean, you Garrett Wilson and Scary Terry. I mean, come on.
Yeah. You have to think the Patriots are snooping around behind the scenes as well. I mean, it's a clear, I don't know, other Jalen Hurts, Joe Burrow, like other young quarterbacks that have gotten elite wide receivers, it's worked out well. Like, is it the quarterback? Is it the wide receiver? You got to have elite talent on both. And so, yeah, it's there should be a lot of people calling. He wants big money. He wants 30 million plus, but in the current market, you have to think he's worth that. So,
do you want to hear something that you're not going to like about Scary Terry?
Yeah, go ahead.
Last year, he had more yards and more touchdowns than AJ Brown. So we can continue on, but if he's asking for a lot of money, like let's be real here. That it makes sense.
Yeah, and I was gonna say too, the Patriots were my 3rd pick, but I actually think that Diggs is gonna be that for Drake May this year.
Yeah,
I think have a breakout year.
If he can stay healthy, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
Just responded to a comment on X, which I really wish StreamYard would make it easier. StreamYard, I know you guys are listening. I know the CEO, the VPs, they're all listening to our podcast because why wouldn't they be? But come on, let's make it easier to respond to comments on our live stream would be lovely. So, all right, let's keep it moving here. So we got our college breakout of the week. Sorry, one final. I kind of already mentioned. We're gonna move on. Not Kevin dancing on the NFC East anymore. So college breakout of the week. I've got Kyron Drones, Virginia Tech. Couple fun facts for him. If you play college fantasy football, highly recommend this guy. He's probably available in your league. If you're drafting, you're not going to have to spend a lot of capital on him. Reason being, he didn't play a full season last year, but in 2023, he had 17 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. Not a crazy high number, but you love that ratio. He's not turned the ball over. He also had 800 rushing yards and 5 touchdowns. We talked about it last week, but a rushing quarterback is always a good thing. My favorite thing about why he's going to break out is week 1 against Lenora Sellers, primetime, Mercedes-Benz Stadium. I think he's going to put himself on the map, and there's going to be some fireworks in that game. And so, yeah, he's our breakout player of the week.
I like that.
Me too.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, you did a great job, Kevin.
Thank you. All right, so we are going to hop into our wide receiver rankings. So let's just jump over there. Again, you might have to zoom in if you are watching on a small device. If not, put us on the big screen, watch with your kids. Why not? But yeah, if you haven't checked out the last 2 episodes, we've done quarterbacks, running backs. I'll say off the start, this was hard. We have our top 20 in both NCAA and college. We'll start here with the college. It was kind of hard on both to do 20, not because there isn't 20 good players, but there's so many good wide receivers on both sides that it's hard to know. Alex and I were talking before the show, like my 8 through 20 in the NFL, like you could talk me into interchanging any of those guys and I would be fine. We'll talk about the big dogs at the top, but yeah, take us away, Booker. What are you seeing? Any parts of our top 10 rankings where you think any of us two are absolutely crazy? We'll kind of dive into some of the differentiations between our lists.
Yeah, absolutely. So I do have a question. I think I've got a question for each of you. So I'm going to start with you though, Kevin. I see what I see as an issue on your list. I see that you have Cam Coleman at number 4. Now, an absolute stud. Yes. I have him at number 9 on my list. He's a wide receiver for Auburn, sophomore. Had the last few games like last year were incredible. Something big changed in Auburn though, and that is their quarterback potential and their quarterback play. That is the only reason I have him so low. They've got Jackson Arnold.
You think they go run heavy, and they
go run heavy. I think so. So why do you have him so high? And maybe, I mean, I'm sure you thought of that, but
I think he's the big fish on the team. I know they brought in Eric Singleton. Again, we were talking like there's just so many college names. So if I butcher somebody's, it's just going to be what it's going to be. But was it Eric Singleton that they brought in? You drafted him in our recent campus, didn't you, Book?
Yes. Yep.
And so they have like 2 guys there, kind of a 2-headed monster. I just think he's the big fish. When I look at his last 3 weeks, I think the breakout had arrived, and I'm trusting the talent. Where even if we get a run-heavy team, they have to throw the ball. You're still going to throw it 15 to 25 times, keep the other team honest. I think Cam Coleman, I'm just trusting the talent and the volume he's going to get over, But you definitely got to factor that in there's so many pass-friendly, heavy offenses in college fantasy football that there's definitely an argument to say, hey, this player might not have the talent, maybe some of my guys 11 to 20, but they're on a more pass-friendly team at Texas Tech or an Oklahoma State where they're going to throw for 500 yards a week. So there's definitely an argument there.
Yeah, that's fair. And actually, it looks like Alo, you have him quite high on yours as well. Would you you would just agree with Kev on that?
Yeah, I actually think with Singleton from Georgia Tech coming in, I think he actually helps that and it also helps their quarterback transitioning in. I think it's going to help them too. He's going to have Cam Coleman and Singleton, and I like Kevin said, I think the talent is he's just amazing, and he had a decent year as a freshman. So I think this is the year where he breaks out. So yeah.
Let me ask you guys this. So I see Antonio Williams. I see TJ Moore. I'm sure we're going to get into some Bryant Westco, Clemson wide receivers. I was like in our C2C draft, I kept looking at Antonio Williams and I kept passing him, but I'm like, I want to draft him. I don't want to. Like, I'm just torn on these Clemson wide receivers. I ranked him high because he finished last year 900 yards, 11 touchdowns. Like, I think he is the one in this offense, but there's so many mouths that Klubnik's going to feed. Who do we think finishes as the top? I mean, I guess I'm arguing Antonio Williams. Booker, you're saying TJ Moore. Where do we think Bryant Westco? I was reading one article where he could be the best NFL prospect. Do we think, is that going to how it's going to shake out this year? Or any thoughts on the Clemson wide receivers?
Yeah,
I think it's a toss-up. Go ahead, Alo.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think that it's a toss-up. I know that last year Antonio Williams had the lion's share of the targets and the production, but he was also the most senior veteran presence on that wide receiving core. And I believe after a year, Wesco and TJ Moore both are going to surpass him. And Klubnik's a year older too and coming back to win. So I just think that those are elite receivers. And I think it's a toss up between TJ Moore and Bryant Wesco on who finishes first. But I do not think Antonio Williams has the same production this year.
Okay.
I'm disagree on that one. I'm going to go with Antonio Williams has the big year, but I will say, because he's like the veteran of the group, I think Brian, like you said, Kevin, Brian is the better prospect, NFL prospect, but I think his big year will come in 2026. I think he's going to take a back seat to them two, but that doesn't mean his production won't be good. I just think that TJ Moore and Antonio Williams will both have 1,000 yards plus, and I think he'll be around 800. But I mean, that's still amazing for 3 wide receivers, on one team. So I just think, but 2026, I did say in 2026, I think he will be a top 5 wide receiver in college football.
I could definitely see like a Jalen Noel, Higgins, Iowa State last year, where I think they both finished top 10 in the end of the season, both over 1,000 yards. I could definitely see that. I think, again, I still think Antonio Williams, sort of like what you're saying there, Alo, of the old man is going to get the volume. I think week to week, probably 2 out of these 3 guys are going to go off. And you're just hoping that you don't have the one guy who, the week Antonio Williams has 3 catches for 60 yards, no touchdowns, but the other 2 guys go nuclear. So there might be a little bit of that. But anything else here on 1 through 10, or we want to jump down?
Yeah. Booker, why don't you have Ryan Williams at 2?
No, I do. Actually, Kevin is the one that threw him at. Wait, where did you put Ryan Williams, Kev?
Yeah, why don't you? I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm wondering if that was a typo.
There has to be a typo because you don't have him at all.
Yeah, that has to be a typo that I went Williams and then it went Antonio instead of Ryan. Yeah, that's.
Where would you put him?
Yeah. I think he should be number 3. I just didn't catch that until you guys said that right now. But yeah, there's a big 4 in college football, and he's definitely on. Alabama has a lot of good receivers, but he's clearly he was really good at 17. He's going to be even better this year. New quarterback, but their new quarterback shouldn't run the ball as much. He's definitely not going to run the ball as much as Milroe. So yeah, I'm guessing that was a typo. I still am high on Antonio Williams. I think this is where Williams got me into some trouble there on our Notion spreadsheet. So I will be more careful next time.
Thank you.
All right, let's ask you this, Booker. No Carnell Tate in your top 10. You're just thinking Jeremiah Smith is gonna feast in Ohio?
There's just Carnell Tate is a wide receiver 1 feasting anywhere else. When you have Jeremiah Smith on your team, I'm sorry. I mean, I could be completely wrong because people are going to pay attention to Jeremiah Smith in a new way this year, and so maybe that frees up a ton of space for Carnell Tate. But I think that Jeremiah Smith transcends that and is still a target hog and scoring hog in fantasy in production this year. So
yeah, no, absolutely. One thing, it's not on any of our top 10s. Let me ask you this, and then we'll move on to 11 through 20. Which TCU wide receiver? Because I think one of these 2 finishes in the top 10 to 12, just because TCU, the opposite of Auburn. Josh Hoover, good quarterback. They're going to sling it every single game. So do you think Eric McAllister or Jordan Dwyer? We got nicer Joseph Manjack V, I believe is his name, and the slot. I don't think he finishes top 10, but I think Dwyer or McAllister, both transfers, both had pretty good seasons last year. Which of those 2 do you think could finish top 10 to 12 most likely?
I'm thinking, I think Jordan Dwyer is that guy, 6 foot, 195 from the great state of Washington. He played for Idaho in 2024. He had almost 1,200 yards and 12 touchdowns. And so he averaged 15 yards per reception. And now with Josh Hoover under center, I just think that he eats. I think he's going to be a PPR machine.
Yeah.
What about you, Alo?
Yeah, I agree. That was my pick too, Dwyer. I think he's going to have a big year. I was kind of almost going to put him in my top 5, to be honest with you. I thought
that would have been bold, but I can appreciate that.
I thought about it for sure. Yeah, he's gonna have a big year, and I think they're gonna be good too. I think they're gonna be really good.
All right, let's move along here. We got 11 through 20. And just let our folks watching along check in there. I see you've got Carnell at 13. Not bad.
What do you guys think about my 15th? Micah Hudson. He kind of fell off the map. He was a top guy last year as far as recruit.
No, definitely talented. Texas Tech this year, right? Is that let me go back to my
Texas Tech with Baron Morton.
You love that.
Just expected to have an incredible year.
Yep.
And Micah Hudson played like it came out after. I mean, he transferred to Texas A&M and then promptly went back to Texas Tech. But it came out that like he had some injury at his senior year in high school and was like recovering and was playing injured, practicing injured all year last year. And so, yeah, he had such an underwhelming year that he fell off people's radar. But I'm looking for him to have a pretty good year this year.
Yeah, my retort is go ahead, Alex. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say he was like the one where I was struggling. I don't have him in my top 20, but he was like the one where I was like, is he 20? Is he 19? Is he 21? That was honestly who I was like thinking about it, because I was telling Kev before the show, like it was like I really had to take a deep dive into the top 20. So it was tough, but it was fun to make the list for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. There's so many so many college players that it is a challenge. I've got my retort to Micah. The talent is there. I like that Caleb Douglas at 17 there for me was in the system last year. He was productive last year. I think he's going to end up being the one. Maybe is similar to Wesco, where next year, like Hudson has a pretty good year this year and really takes off next year. But again, buy him now, draft him now while the value is low, trade for him while the value is low, especially if he starts popping off early this season. Excellent player to go get, should continue to ascend in that offense. Let's see. Let me just hop back. I see no Casey Concepcion in your top 20 at all, Booker. Why no? Because I thought you were high on him. Or am I missing that? I'm not. Again, it's hard. It's hard to.
Yeah.
You can't fit everybody in there, but that's one thing that steps out. He moved to Texas A&M. Should be big man on campus. We like him so much. I can't even remember his name. What's their quarterback? I traded him to you last year.
Marcel Reed.
Yeah, we like Marcel Reed. He can run the ball. He can throw a nice deep ball. So Concepcion should have a good year, but was this just a slip here, or do you think he should be outside the top 20?
This is a slip, but nowhere near the size of a slip as yours leaving Ryan Williams out.
But I had half the name. I had half the name right. So,
Yeah, that's true. I do not have Concepcion in any of my list at all. Truthfully, that was at one point I was moving some players around and I had him on there at one point, and then I must have accidentally forgotten him. But I do think he's going to be, I think I had him in like the 17 range. Right around Dane Key and Eric Rivers Jr. So yeah, but that's my mistake, because I do think he's going to have a good year over there at Texas A&M. Yeah, the quarterback play at Texas A&M is much better than NC State was last year.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, Alo.
No, I was just going to say he was hurt, so I just think and I think he struggled. So I think he'll bounce back. I do, and I was going to say I was looking at the list. I was looking. Where's it at? Oh, Kev, you don't have Moore from Oregon?
Yeah, I've got him 16. DeCorian Moore.
Oh. No, I was just saying.
I got him 16.
I was just gonna say, with now that Stewart's gone for the year, if I would have knew earlier, I would put him at top 10.
I would. So? Yeah. That Jeremiah Smith, Ryan Williams type ascension. Yeah.
Yeah, And he was the number 1 wide receiver coming out of high school in 2025. I think he's gonna, and in camp he was balling out too. I think he's gonna be a top 10 wide receiver.
Yeah. I mean, Kenyon Sadiq definitely going to eat in that offense, but he definitely has a chance to take that. I think we were spoiled last year with these freshmen hitting the ground running. That happens, especially these 5-star can't miss prospects. Like, yeah, so it could be. I think Booker's recent C2C team we were having an exact discussion of like, if he jumps into that top 10, like you're going to be sitting real nice. If it takes a year or two, then we might not. But I see he's not in either of your rankings, your top 20, and neither is. Sorry, going back to I've got Fantrax here on my iPad, so I'm just kind of back and forth computer and this. But we've got Cullen Lacey. I've got him at 11. His brother, rest in peace, Kyron Lacey, LSU. Phenom, would be in the NFL right now. Tragic thing there. Yes, we've got Chris Bell, senior for Louisville, Colin Lacey, little brother of the late Kyron Lacey. Clearly a talented family. We got Miller Moss coming to Louisville. I think another one of these run and shoot offenses. I think one of these guys finishes top 15. I'm picking Lacey because I think the talent is there. But again, that seniority thing is interesting in college football where Chris Bell, the senior, he didn't go to the draft early. Like, does he? So which of those two do you think has a best chance? Obviously, neither of you guys might be like, Kevin, you're off your rocker on both of these guys. But yeah, any thoughts on Cullen Lacey or Chris Bell?
I think that it makes sense that you have him on your list because Miller Moss. I mean, that's the one thing that makes me think, okay, maybe he belongs in the top 20. You've got Miller Moss coming in there, and we know he can sling it. But Lacey was supposed to have a year last year. He was a sleeper on a lot of people's radar last year, and it didn't pan out. So I'm a little Lacey shy.
Was he on Louisville last year? He was. Okay.
He was, but he might have played part of the year injured. I don't know. Maybe.
I'm showing 5 games. But he had, of those 5 games, he had 3 games over 12 fantasy points. So I think maybe injury bug. If he's able to stay healthy, I think the talent is there. So
yeah.
What about you, Alo?
I was gonna say so out of those two, I picked Bell because I think Kev said it. When it comes to like being a veteran in college, they're gonna feed you the ball, and I think he's gonna get more yards and more receptions. But I also didn't put them either one of them in my top 20 because there's just so, like you said, there's so many wide receivers, and I think the ones that are in the top 20 that I have just have the more upside. That's all. Just have more upside. If that makes sense.
I love Fanatic Dak. If you're still listening, I love this comment. I wish I had this list before our league draft. Sorry, Dak. We should have done it sooner. But thanks for listening, bro. We appreciate the shout out. So, one other. Okay, let's go back to this ranking. Wow, my camera. I got to figure that out. Like,
it's just zooming in on.
I like it, but like the iPhone camera just is like just tracking around. It's crazy.
Big brother, man. Big brother.
Yeah, big brother. Okay, so let me make this big again. So one thing that stood out to me, we've got I've got Aaron Anderson, potentially the top receiver in LSU, top 10 at 7. We've got Alo at 17. Booker, he's not on anywhere in your top 20. Do you think I'm more right? Alo's more. We'll throw this to Booker first, but is he going to be closer to that 7, closer to 17, or closer to, I think he's not finishing outside the top 20 unless he plays 3 games and gets hurt. I guess my question to you, Booker, is he going to finish closer to 7 or 17, even though you didn't put him on your top 20? You might have just been, again, it's hard when there's so many guys to fit them all in. These are just guys that we really like. So Aaron Anderson, LSU, 7 or 17. Who's closer on that?
I think Alo is closer. If you go up to that list, 1 through 10, you'll see I have Nick Anderson. So that guy.
That was a typo?
No. Nick Anderson came over from Oklahoma to LSU. And I think that he is going to have the better year. And again, like there are so many wide receivers in college football that like I believe that Aaron Anderson will have probably a top 30 year. But I think Nick Anderson is the guy at LSU with Nuss Bus in his final year. So that's just
I just
my
disagree.
take.
I disagree, man. I think Nuss Bus has the connection.
It's hard when you're
with
wrong,
Aaron.
man.
Yeah,
it's hard to be wrong.
I know it is, but it's he has the connection with Nuss Bus last year. I think that matters. That in a pecking order, if Aaron Anderson was like not talented, and you bring in a phenom, like, yeah, I'll get some chemistry with the guy who's ridiculously good. But I think that built-in chemistry matters. I am going to pull up. Why don't you chime in here, Alo, on why you think he's 17 over 7? I'm going to just pull up a depth chart here and see what that's telling us.
So I do see where you're coming from with the chemistry. I do see that. But I think Nick Anderson is going to be wide receiver 1. But I will say, I think just like the Clemson wide receivers, I think both of them are going to eat. Because Aaron Anderson had like 800 yards, plus 800 yards, and he had a great season last year. And I don't think like Nick Anderson, the addition of it is going to hurt it as much as like the 3 in Clemson. I think it's going to benefit him. I think both of them will shine, but I think Nick Anderson is wide receiver 1. Okay. Slightly.
And he's listed as the starter X wide receiver. Yeah. So that would tend to lean with you guys. I do like Aaron Anderson in the slot. I also drafted in our C2C Barian Brown transfer later. All 3 of those guys, I think, Alo, you nailed it there with the Clemson. I could see it's going to be the 2 out of 3. They're going to want to run the ball a lot. Trey Green is also a monster. So this is kind of the nature of college fantasy football, of not every week your studs are going to be ridiculously good. Just because they might, if they blow somebody out in week 1, they might play a quarter and a half and then be out of the game because they're up by 45 points. So it should be an interesting year. So we like that. Let's go ahead and move over to the NFL, unless you guys have any final thoughts here on the NCAA, and then we'll jump over anything else.
We don't have a ton of time, but I think Elijah Surratt over there at Indiana is going to have quite a year with Fernando Mendoza, but I'll just say that.
Yeah. And you've got him 6. You've got him 8. I've got him outside my top 20. So yeah, I'm probably wrong on that one if I had to guess.
Feels good to hear you say that.
Thanks, Booker. All right, let's jump here to our top 10. And I must. Drake London at 4. You got to give an account. We'll get to Tyreek Hill over we'll get to AJ Brown, not even in this guy's top 10 in a second, but Drake London at 4. Man, you must love Michael Penix something else. I tell you what. But yeah, give us your reason. Why is Drake London at number 4?
Well, he was overall pick number 8 in 2022 for Atlanta in round 1, obviously. Last year, I'm just looking up his stats right now. Actually, game log is going to be more telling because last year when Penix came in and took over the helm and actually did, forgive me for my ignorance here, do you know when Penix took over for?
I think he played the last 4 games. He played the last 4 games.
That sounds right. Right. So the last 4 games for our man Drake London, he had, gosh, look at that. 12 there's 12 targets, 9 targets, 7 targets, and then oh no, I'm going the wrong way. I apologize. So he had over 100 yards on 2 of the last 4 games and 3 touchdowns over that. So I think that Penix is the future in Atlanta. I think that he's only gotten better. I think Drake London has been underperforming. He's like Kyle Pitts light, and I think that he takes off like a rocket ship this year. And so am I thinking that he'll be number 4? I think that was maybe coming in a little too hot. I do think he's going to be he's going to be a steal in fantasy drafts because he's going to have a year. So maybe 4 is a little too aggressive, but he's top. I think he's top 6 or 7, easy, and I'd be willing to take a bet on that.
My thing,
but not for money.
My thing, Kev. You said he has him at 4. Why do you have him at 15?
Good.
Like I said, 8 through 20, man. It's just tough. I couldn't take him at 4 over guys. Like, I despise the Cowboys. I'm taking CD Lamb over Drake London without a doubt. So I like what you said about the value. I was going to shout out to one of Alo's, and you can share maybe here at the end, but pretty much you're trying to grow fantasy football leagues, make them competitive. And so we're actually in a fantasy football league with you was kind of how this started. But I went Drake London. Let me see where I drafted him. I got him in 2-6. So I started that team with St. Brown, Drake London. I'm loving that. I wouldn't take London over St. Brown, over CD, shoot over even like a Puka. But I like it. It's just like high risk, high reward. I mean, Michael Penix coming out saying, hey, we're going to get the ball to – this is the year Kyle Pitts. But
it's this year every year.
Yeah, it's this year every year. But anyway, I hear
I don't know. Kevin, you have – so you talk about high risk, high reward. Drafting anyone for the Dallas Cowboys to me is high risk, high reward because of the circus we spoke about earlier. Like,
correct.
Who knows what's going to happen?
But
he could just decide he might.
Yeah.
I don't know. In a redraft, okay, how about this? Tell me this. In a redraft, I agree with you. Okay, I would take CD this year over. Would you say Dynasty, you're making that same move?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. CD's 26 years old. So, I mean, CD's finished wide receiver 5, 1, and 8 the last 3 years. London has finished wide receiver 5 one time.
Drake London's 24, so don't play the age game with me.
Well, I know I'm playing the age game as like CD's not 36. So like you can take CD in a dynasty and you're still happy. Go ahead. Sorry, Alo, we're arguing, but you're here. We don't want to cut you out. Go ahead and give us some straight gospel.
I'm loving the arguing here because I'm with Booker. So I understand the CD. I understand the St. Brown. I understand Puka. I just don't understand DJ Moore and DK. I need you to explain that to me.
Yeah, that's again. I'm going to lean on my 8 through 20 is really a challenge, and maybe I should gone a little slower on my list if I'm going to follow my sword here. I mean, Garrett Wilson, I think, is going to be a target monster. You could say the same thing for Drake London, so he should be higher on my list. Let's see, where do I got him? I have him at 15. Again, I think any of these 8 through 15 guys, not that they're all interchangeable, but I feel pretty good. I feel pretty good about all of them. I feel like they're not in the top tier. That's where I'm like, they're not in that 1 through 6 range in my estimation. Anywhere 720, I'm fine with them, depending on what type of bread you like.
In that league where you took Drake London, I think I took DK. You want to do a little swap?
No, I'm not trading him because as my wide receiver too. We could pull off a trade here live, but I mean, as my wide receiver too, I'm feeling excellent. I'm like, that's a great value. I do like Michael Penix. He can sling it, and I think he's going to have a good year. If I'm taking the 4th wide receiver, I'm taking the safety of, let's just look here. Amon-Ra St. Brown, last 3 seasons in a crowded team, high volume. He's finished 3-3-7. Like, I'm taking that every day of the week over Drake London. It just
the last thing I'm going to say, Kevin,
you hope Drake London is top 5 again. I pretty much know Amon-Ra is going to be top 5.
Here's the last thing I'm going to say. Let me just throw this in here and I'll shut up.
Go ahead.
Michael Penix has been all business. I saw a video of the quarterback who will be responsible for throwing the ball to CD Lamb riding a broom around practice like Harry Potter. So
I'm not going to defend the Cowboys on this podcast. That's never going to happen. But you still, at some point, you have to be rational about it. You can't just be a homer.
I guess
I would take Amon-Ra over CD, even though I have CD ranked higher. If it was those two, I'm taking Amon-Ra because I hate the Cowboys. But let's be real here. Yeah. All right, this guy then. Let's come after Alo here for a few minutes. This guy not having AJ Brown in his top 10. I must know why. And I
I
think
cannot protect you on this, Alo.
I think I know what
you.
your argument is going. And I just said I need to be objective and not completely emotional and not completely unbiased, but not in your top 10. I mean, what are we thinking there? Was it Amon-Ra St. Brown? You meant to go AJ there instead of him, or
no.
Yeah, what are you thinking?
I do love St. Brown, but my thing with AJ Brown is not like talent or anything. I just think in the system that he's in with the Eagles, I mean, we saw it. I mean, he's out there reading a book because Jalen Hurts isn't throwing him the ball. So, and to be fair, that's not on Jalen Hurts. It's you guys are up by 20 points, by 30 points. You're not going to be throwing the ball to AJ Brown. Barkley is going to have a breakout season again, and he's going to break the rushing record. I'm calling it right now. It's a hot take, I guess, but he's breaking the rushing record. And I think the other problem is Smith is a great wide receiver too. Smith on another team would be wide receiver 1. He would on a lot of other teams. And I just think AJ Brown gets targets taken away from him. And I think it's tough for him. And you're already in the point of the Eagles already know what they want to do. Run the ball, defense. Run the ball, defense. And luckily for you, if the run isn't working, you have one of the best wide receivers in the league. Yeah. But I just think off fantasy production, I think that's going to hurt him.
Yeah, I appreciate you. You're just wrong. I mean, you can be genuine and still wrong. But
yeah,
AJ Brown's first season in Philadelphia, wide receiver 6, 11 touchdowns, 1,400 yards. Second season, wide receiver 5, 1,400 yards, 7 touchdowns. Last year, wide receiver 20, but he played 13 games. If he plays a full season, which injury is always a concern when, he's a Ferrari engine on. I mean, he's a big guy too, but he's had some injuries throughout his career. But if he's healthy, he's without a doubt. And that's not even, I mean, without a doubt, top 10. If you don't want to put him top 3, top 5 like me, I get it. And sure, there's a little bit of homerism, but this guy's a specimen. I loved dancing on Tennessee's grave this week that I think they dropped Jalen Burks, or what was Treylon Burks.
Well, he got hurt.
They traded AJ Brown and like some kind of pick for Treylon Burks. And anyway, thank you, Tennessee. I hear the Saquon argument. I'm all about hearing about how unstoppable the offense is going to be, but it is unstoppable because of AJ Brown. Like Jalen Hurts took off when he got that alpha male. And it is a 1A, 1B, but come on, let's not get crazy here with AJ Brown. But anyway, go ahead. You got something.
I will say, to be fair, those 2 years that he was in the top 5, top 6, there was no Barkley. And to be honest,
yeah,
you could thank the Giants too, because
I can think. But the Eagles have been a top, and I love Saquon Barkley, and he definitely helped take our team to another level. But the Eagles were a top 5 run game before Saquon got there. Like Kenny Gainwell, we were still a top 5 running game. And that's why people disrespecting Jalen Hurts are just insane. I've just stopped responding to him on X because I'm like, you guys are just out of control. But Saquon definitely took us to another level. The amount of 60-yard, 70-yard runs last year against just the Rams was like, yes, I will continue to dance on the Rams' grave because it was like, dude, he's going to run to the right and he's going to go for 70. So anyway, let's move along. Sorry, this was a long Eagles rabbit trail.
Can I say one thing?
Go ahead, pick my list apart or let's keep it going here.
Well, no, I'm just going to say this because I just had this picture in my mind. Like AJ Brown is like, I'm going to call him a Fjord F-250, a Ferrari and a Ford. So like imagine a Ferrari with like a truck bed on it. Yeah. You could go to Home Depot if you need to build a shed, you need to get several things, and you need to have like the suspension and the heavy duty like towing capacity, but you need to do that all at 150 miles an hour. That's AJ Brown. You may continue.
No, you keep talking about AJ Brown all night, man.
Yeah,
he's the most unguardable person on this list one-on-one. Like JJ, Jamar. They're better route runners, but you cannot guard AJ Brown one-on-one.
Yeah, it's not anything to do with his talent or his anything like that. It's just the offense. I mean, you guys are going to
offense. Come on, man. He was producing for Tennessee. They had nobody.
No. I'm saying your offense is all about the run. It's all about Saquon Barkley first, because at the end of the day, you have your defense, elite. You have Saquon, elite. But I do admit that I should have probably put him at 10. Mike Evans and Ladd. Mike Evans is every year he's going to give you 1,000 yards. I mean,
and I see neighbors. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. There's so many talented players, but
I think Alo just does not like the fact that AJ Brown likes to read. I think that's he
did go pretty hard after that book. Like, he was on the sideline. He was reading a book. Man.
All we need to do, you know what we need to do? That book became like Amazon's #1 seller. What we need to do is have AJ Brown like wear a TSP t-shirt or something, or like listen to our podcast on the sideline, and we'll just
it'll be huge. Just like Inner Excellence, man. All right, let's go 11 through 20. We'll wrap up here shortly, but we've got 11 through 20 and then some news for next week. But what are we seeing here 11 through 20? We kind of covered on some of these people that him having AJ Brown at 12, but let's move into it. I've got DK at 13. You've got him at 12. You got DK all the way down at 19. What's your reasoning for DK so low?
I know. To me, it's just, I think that everybody else, like, I think, for example, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say this for my next part of it, but I will say Marvin Harrison Jr., I feel like will have a breakout year. I think Davante Adams I'm sorry, but I think he's going to be better with Sean McVay in LA. I think Higgins, wide receiver two, he's out there playing wide receiver 1 numbers. JSN had a great year last year, and he's going to have, Sam Darnold. He loves throwing to his wide receiver 1, and no more Coop. Yeah, so, and then Garrett Wilson, I mean, that man never has a good quarterback, or it's an injury, and he's balling. So it was hard for me to put DK at like 14, 15, and then Scary Terry helped James' growth. I don't think he goes anywhere, but I mean, for the Commanders, I don't. But that's why I did that though.
And I heard a funny thing from the fantasy footballers. Shout out their podcast, and everything they do it was awesome. Those guys are incredible. But I was listening to them this week, and one of them was picking T. Higgins, and they were like, "We're talking per game points, right? Not per season, because he never like plays a full season." What would you guess is his highest fantasy football ranking in a season, even if obviously assuming he didn't play a full season? What do you think is the highest he's ever finished in a season?
Is it 15?
I've got 17 is what I'm showing on Sleeper.
I was going to say 15 as well. That's
so
surprising though.
To me, I'm like, for DK, I've got 30 million reasons. I've got 150 million reasons on why he's going to be finishing higher than 19. I like Aaron Rodgers' history of like featuring his #1 guy. I think DK's that guy. So yes, run heavy team. Yes, play defense. But I think DK volume alone, the contract, everything, that ridiculous catch he made out of camp, like, he's going to eat. I have a hard time putting any wide receiver 2s above like clear volume hogs at 1. Obviously, we all have Davante Adams as kind of our highest ranked wide receiver 2. But yeah, to me, I was thinking DK was a little. How about you, Booker? Anything standing out here? Obviously, Tet McMillan, the only one cracking Tet McMillan sighting. But
why
what
not?
I just
thought like, let's throw him in at the very end there, and let's see, like, just throw at the dartboard there. You might be right about DK Metcalf. I do think that he's going to, or I think you are right about DK Metcalf. I like him a lot this year. Where you are wrong is with Jackson Smith and Jigba, bro. Like, at 20. So DK is gone. Tyler Lockett is gone. You've got. I mean, I know they're going to. I actually believe they're going to focus a little bit more on the run game in Seattle this year. But JSN he's like, to me, he looks like Carnell Tate, or he's an Ohio State University wide receiver. And if DK Metcalf wasn't there, crying about not getting targets, I think he has a better year. And so, I have obviously way higher. Alo and I both have him at 14. Yeah. He threw him at 20 for some strange reason.
So we both have him at a wide receiver 2. I know you want me to say those magical words again, but that I
That
was
I'm right.
something. But we still have them both as a wide receiver too. So let's not get crazy.
You need to take a UA, bro. You need to take a UA.
We did make a video recently on YouTube where it was like highlighting that ridiculous game he had in college against Utah. I think he had like 300 yards and was I don't know six touchdowns, or I don't remember what he had. Go look up that video on YouTube. That game against Utah. He finished wide receiver 10 last year. Yeah, I think you're probably right. He should be a little bit higher. But again, that 8 to 20 range is so tough on some of these guys. Zay Flowers, I probably should bump him above Zay Flowers just because Baltimore's offense. Alo, you're all in on the Ladd McConkey train. Give us why is he gonna be a top 10, top 11 guy this year?
I mean, so one, he had a great year as a rookie, and now he has a whole training camp, a whole another year with Harbaugh and Justin Herbert, and I think he's gonna be. I know I have him at 11, but if I was to like do a hot take, I think he could be top 5. I think he's gonna be really productive in the slot, and I actually think they added Trey Harris in the draft. I think that could help as well, because in that offense they need a wide receiver too. But he's gonna get fed. That's the other thing. I don't care who wide receiver 2 is there. He's gonna get fed.
Yeah,
and I can't put him out. I can't put him down low like with 16, 17 because he's very talented, and I think he's gonna be top 10.
Yeah, I'm probably too low on him. I'm probably wrong on him. I guess he's the hard one for me to draft so high at like the price it's going to take. But he finished wide receiver 13 last year, 1,100 yards, 7 touchdowns. I guess I was kind of down on him because I feel like people are drafting him at his playoff that, 10 catches, 190 yards, touchdown ceiling. But clearly 1,100 yards, 7 touchdowns. Same offense, same quarterback. Like, I'm probably too low on him. Again, it'd be hard for me to draft him because of I don't know. I just want to see it again. Where some of these guys, I trust the volume. Booker, any other thoughts? Anybody you're seeing here? Puka, you got Puka pretty low actually. Let's see. You got him at 15. We both have. Oh, you got Puka nowhere. He's got Puka nowhere. So Puka. This guy's got Devontae. I don't know who I should go after more here. You've got Puka 15. He's got Puka outside the top 20. Devontae above him. Let's get some defense there. I mean, he's a first round pick in a lot of leagues. What are we thinking there, fellas?
That's a mistake. Like you did with Ryan Williams. That's a mistake.
It's hard, man. It's hard. This is the first rendition. All right, we'll keep adjusting these.
I would put Puka at I would put Puka above Nico Collins and take Sutton out.
Yeah.
So a question for you though. So there's Matthew Stafford. I have not seen the latest, but I was listening to something the other day, and he's an older gentleman, and he's
37.
had like some back. Yeah, he's an older gentleman, and he's had he's been sitting out because of some back injury. So Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams without Matthew Stafford, they're not in this list, right?
Yeah. Especially there was a lot of drama this week. I don't remember on which podcast it was, but it was on all the drama that happened with Devontae Adams in Vegas. Like he was just on the sidelines, pretty much just cursing out Jimmy Garoppolo, like this guy's not getting me the effing ball. Like what's going on, man? And now he's like, he's a Matt Stafford injury away from Jimmy Garoppolo being his quarterback. So they're definitely not the same team without Stafford. I think Stafford will be healthy. They're probably taking it easy on him because he's 37 years old and taking care of his kids, like a little bit of vet rest.
Yeah.
But I think he'll be ready for the season. And
I was going to say, Booker, why don't you have Marvin Harrison Jr.?
Well, truthfully, it was a mistake. Okay, Alo. No,
Hey,
I
It's
think
hard.
it is hard, but you know what? Like, I think I might stand by it. I do think Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to have a better year than he did last year. The Kyler Murray thing, I can't get past. I love Kyler Murray as far as his athleticism. I mean, the man can run but you put Marvin Harrison Jr. with a quarterback like Matthew Stafford, like Justin Herbert, even Josh Allen or Lamar. Like, it's just a different. He's on my top 10 easily. I just don't believe in the Kyler Murray. Like, he's just good enough to not lose his job, but he's not going. He's not taking him to the next level. So he's underutilized for what his talent is. That's why I don't have him up there.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I actually agree with that. I still have him in the top 20 though, for sure.
The talent is there, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I was also gonna say, Kev, I have a question. I'm just this is me. Do you believe in JJ McCarthy?
Oh yeah, I do. That's why I got JJ number 1, man.
That's why I took him at 2 because of that. I just am not sure.
And again, this is sort of a callback to the repeating as wide receiver 1 is really challenging. That's kind of, we mentioned that earlier in the show. These two are interchangeable.
Absolutely.
I'm an Eagles homer. I wouldn't draft AJ over either of those two guys, but I just think it's going to be hard to repeat the ridiculous success that he had last year. So that's why I put Justin Jefferson, just because he's been really good. He's been the number 1 wide receiver with what's the rocket scientist? Josh Dobbs was his quarterback, and he was producing. So yeah, I think McCarthy, he might not be MVP levels, but I think he's going to have a productive year, and he's going to get the ball to Justin Jefferson. I don't think the suspension is official, but Addison is most likely going to get suspended. I think Hawkinson is still going to he'll have a good year, but I think Justin Jefferson is going to eat and remind everybody that he is the best wide receiver in football. So yeah, I'm up on JJ.
Yeah, that's fair. He was balling with Nick Mullen. You ball with Nick Mullen.
Absolutely. I like the Marvin Harrison. Evan from Crew Talk, if he's listening, he's not going to like this, but I think the McBride is going to come back to earth pretty. Like, is he going to get 140 targets again this year? I do think, like, the Cardinals would be silly to not feature Marvin Harrison Jr. Like, you drafted this guy because he's a generational prospect. He's putting on weight. Like, to not feature him and run the offense through him. I mean, we're not Cardinals fans, but it was crazy to see people freaking out last year when he would get like 3 targets. I'm like, what do you draft this freak of nature for if you're not going to throw him the ball? And so, yeah, I think that's a little bit of the offense. Is that Kyler? I'm not sure. Maybe Kyler likes to throw to the middle of the field. Maybe I'm wrong. And McBride continues to eat, and they just, Harrison is that Ferrari sitting in a trailer park. So,
Kyler just can't see, man. He can't see over the line.
He can't see to the outside. Like he's right down the middle.
A little giant. Like, I wonder if they could get him like a little giant that could be deployed like in the speed of a play, where it's just like he throws it out and then he can hop up and then see so he can throw the ball. I think that's
see something. Shot. Did you see? I think it's a high school recruit. This is way off the rails, but there's like a high school recruit that's like 5'6". It was on X. It was floating around. I don't know if it was in your algorithm, but 5'6", and he can sling it. And they were like, "Is he going to make it to the NFL?" I was like, "There's no way a 5'6" quarterback is making it to the NFL." That being said, it'd be fun to watch him play college football. So I think he's in recruiting process. Anyway, any final thoughts on these rankings? Our hope is to continue to update these as the season goes along. It's going to, this is overall, and it's fun to talk through different players, why we have them higher or lower. As you go during the season, matchups are going to determine a big thing. If somebody's going against Patrick Surtain, you might need to bump them down. If they've got the Panthers, you might need to bump them down. If they have an easy matchup, you might need to, move them up. So that kind of thing. So, any final thoughts before we wrap it up with some news for next week?
I was going to say, you were talking about, Jefferson being 1. I would say if like my sneaky pick, I guess it might not be a sneaky pick, but if I was to say Chase doesn't repeat, I think Neighbors takes it.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Because there's no wide receiver 2. I mean, one thing about Russell Wilson is he will throw it deep and he will throw it. So I could see him sneaking in there and being wide receiver 1 next year.
Yeah. How about you, Booker? Anybody who do you think could sneak in there and take that wide receiver 1 title next year?
Ooh.
Surprise guy.
A surprise guy. I think if someone were to do it, I don't know, man. I'm gonna say, are you ready for this? No,
Sure.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
Hey, I want to hear this.
You want to hear it?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I was gonna say Drake. I was gonna say Drake London just to be funny.
He's like,
But
I'm
not
going
gonna do
all
that.
in on this. I'm going all in on my thought.
No, you know what?
No, he's right there. I mean, he's right there. Like it wouldn't, it's in the realm of
he's
possibility.
right there. He's right there on my list. He's not right there on majority of people's list.
Yeah. Well, he could be a sneaky guy. Jump up.
Maybe him. I also think that DK Metcalf is going to have a really. I think that he was underutilized in Seattle too. I think that he could, if Aaron Rodgers has one more year left in the tank before his bones turn to chalk dust, I think that DK Metcalf could have quite a year. So
I agree with that because again, I think some of the videos out of camp, the red zone stuff wasn't panning out, but you got to think he could easily catch 15, 16 touchdowns on fade routes, back shoulder. Like Rodgers is going to feed him. So I like that one. I'm going to go Nico Collins as one who could make the jump, mainly thinking maybe the rookies. They were great in college. We mentioned them earlier. Maybe it takes them a little bit. Tank Dell's out, so he's not going to be – Tank Dell was always kind of that touchdown maker for C.J. Stroud. So maybe Nico Collins plays a full season healthy and can really take that jump up. I think he's a great value pick. He's going to be a top 10. He's not the sexy name. He's not the guys everybody's chasing after, but he's just a solid player, clear number one in Houston. And I'm going to say those rookies aren't quite ready. Another one, I could say Puka. If Devontae Adams, he's had some injuries throughout his career. I would say if Devontae Adams is just that old guy and can't stay healthy, I could see Puka just getting ridiculous, like a Jamar Chase type of volume where they're like, okay, we have nothing else but to throw you the ball. Let's keep doing that. So, yeah. All right, let's finish up here. We got some big news for next week. It's not actually that crazy. I've teased it a couple times, but the news is we've got a live draft happening in our Campus of Canton League. So this is going to be our NFL side of our draft. We probably won't live stream all 25 rounds. So we got 25 rounds, Campus of Canton startup. So we might start the draft a little before the live stream. So we kind of go live while some picks have happened, and maybe a little bit longer show next week. Again, this is a live draft with Crew Talk Sports. Go ahead and follow them. Follow ALO. Thanks, Alex, for joining us tonight. You can check us out on YouTube and X. Really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button. Let us know in the comments. And let us know in the comments all the things that Booker is wrong. I had to eat some crow tonight. Get after Booker. Why don't we get after Booker today on the spots where he – no, it's all love. But, yeah, you guys have a good rest of your weekend. Football's back. We've got preseason games.
Football is back.
Next Saturday, we've got preseason games happening. I think Thursday, Friday, Saturday, maybe Sunday. I think. Should we get some tissue? Just have a little cry here, fellas. I mean, that's 4 days straight of football next weekend.
Come on, baby!
Sure about
so excited.
College
ball is on the way.
Can't wait.
Football it's back. I can't wait to have the actual game that counts. But I also wanted to say thank you guys for having me on, man. It was it really was. It was awesome. I enjoyed it.
No, very good.
That's awesome to have you, man.
In there, but
yeah, there you go. Hit me up after if you want to talk a Drake London trade. So I know I'm definitely gonna be sending some offers to Booker now that I know he's all in on the Drake London trade. I'm gonna get a couple players from him. So
I'll trade you Pee Wee Johnson for him.
There you go. Please. All right. Until next time, we'll see you guys next week.
Guys.
Bye.